You might recall a few weeks ago we put in a planting of snap beans. We planted 5 varieties in fact: Kinghorn yellow wax bean, royalty purple pod, Triomphe de Farcy filet bean, also the standard varieties Eagle and tender pod. Well, those first 3 varieties I mentioned are ready for their first harvest. In fact, I've pulled a few and I'd love to show them to you. You might want to consider planting these for the fall. This one on the top is royalty purple pod. Now it is a snap bean. At first sight that may look like a southern pea because of that purple pod, but it's very tender. You can see inside it is green, and that'll cook up just like any snap bean. And if your kids won't eat green beans, you might try feeding them purple ones and they might like them better. The next one is the Kinghorn yellow wax bean, and that's done just beautifully in the garden. And then this one is one that a lot of gardeners are very excited about. They're what they call the French filet beans, and they're a very long, slender green bean, very, very tender. This variety is Triomphe de Farcy from Johnny Seeds up in Maine, and I really like it because it gives a long, slender, very tender bean. The one caution about growing the French filet type beans is that they will tend to set very, very quickly, and you must check them about every other day for harvest because they can get over mature in a hurry. The last caution I want to give you on planting beans, if you're considering a succession crop, as we discussed earlier in the show, on beans it won't work unless you wait until early August. If you're going to put in a second crop of beans, sow them then. They can grow in the heat of summer, but once they start to flower, they'll have cool fall temperatures and you'll have better pod set than if you try to grow them in the middle of the year. Well, I'm going to enjoy these beans in my dinner tonight. Thanks for joining us today on Oklahoma Gardening. We'll see you next week.